Hey, welcome to Bodega Nights. We got Martin and we got Joao here
Hey,
for this
man.
episode. And holy shit, I guess happy and a year and 1.5 months. Still stuck in the quarantine era, something I expected would have been gone for like once Christmas came, but no, we're still
Here,
here.
here we are. What was it? And I would like to, what do we call it? I would like to think of this as, I don't know what the experience is in Brazil, but like, here in the Philippines, I was sort of driving around and I passed by a number of vaccination centers, and the school that I teach at, the reason we're not going to be going back to on-site teaching is because the administration of the school decided to volunteer our campus as one of the vaccination sites, helping out
Nice.
the local government unit.
Yeah,
So it's kind of
yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Even
that's
your
I heard like not only your school but also my old the one in Makati. So
yeah.
they use our covered courts for the ones in their posh rich village of Las Marinas.
Yeah. So so that's the thing. Like we at least here in the Philippines, I'm not sure what it's like in other parts of the world. But at least here there is a sort of end that's somewhat in sight. There's like a light at the end of the tunnel. So I would like to think of this as like the beginning of season
Two,
4 of Bodega Nights, if I may call it that.
we have
I don't know. There was season 1, and then there was like season 2, which was the dark and gritty reboot episode. Which
oh right. And then season 3 was like the random guest appearances.
season
4.
season three was what's his name? What Jiggy Serna calls the coronavirse, right? When on
Coronavirus.
On March 4, 2020, we had the episode where you were talking about your experience flying to Brazil.
Dude, that was the reboot, that season.
I'm going to call that season 3 because we had like the dark and
What
gritty
was
reboot
season
in season
2?
2. There was an episode called the dark and gritty reboot.
Wasn't that the one?
No, man, there's an episode called the dark and gritty reboot.
What's that? Was that when it was that the episode I kind of flew in there in Cebu, you, me, and Paolo?
I have
And I
no
had a
idea.
cease and desist,
I have no idea.
2017.
Or we could call that season 1.2. And then season 2
season 1.2.
or season 1.5 or whatever. And then
The
like season 2
coronavirus.
began when you went to Brazil, and now we are entering season 3, I guess. Right? At least I don't know. What's it like in Brazil when it
So
comes
for
to like
now,
vaccination and whatnot?
all I know is here in the federal district for age ranges. So last month we started on hopefully we 40s. By July, as designed, it'll be time for the people in their 30s.
Ooh, that's interesting. So there are no other qualifications other than like age and I'm assuming
You know,
and I'm assuming frontliners got like the shots first.
I hope so. Because they're the one giving the shots. What the
Right,
hell, right?
yeah. I don't
That's-
know.
Don't
I
you
don't
think
know.
that's risky if they don't?
But like here, right? Like here, the first it was frontliners, then
Yeah.
seniors, then
Going
no,
down the age range, I think?
no, it was frontliners, seniors with comorbidities, seniors, people with comorbidities.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard about it.
Then this is something that I like about the vaccination program. The indigent population. So the indigent population with comorbidities, the indigent population, and then next on the list are like teachers and clergymen and people whose jobs necessarily require them to go out into the community, community workers and that sort of thing. And then the rest of the population. So that's how the system here works.
Actually, that's a good job. Because, I think my dad got at least I don't know if it's AstraZeneca or something. He got it before it ran out.
Yeah.
Hey, how about we talk about some more awesome? Like, it just happened like maybe 12 hours ago. Want to talk about it?
Sure.
The thing that happened over a year ago might have been more a weird Facebook chat between one Josh and plenty of, and an inaugural Josh fight has happened a few hours ago. And the one who's crowned the best Josh was this little Josh, was around 4-year-old and earned the crown. They went into this disclosed location somewhere in Nebraska? In Lincoln, Nebraska. All over the country. The Jaws is all over the country. Obviously, they had masks on, and they had this weird things that hit each other on, the foam thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so epic, man. So congratulations to Lil Josh, who won the Josh fight.
Like one of my cousins, a fellow by the name of David Latt. One of my cousins, a fellow by the name of David Latt. So there will be a battle of the Davids. No, this was many years ago, right? He went on Facebook and found everybody by the name of David Latt and like added them to a Facebook group and said to everybody like, "Hello, welcome to the David Latt Club." Like, and apparently it's a thing now. Building bridges, right? But this seems to be the more lulzy version of like the David Latt Club, right? Like having the great Josh battle of 2021.
Josh battle.
Yeah, like I don't know. That thing was. Would you ever do that? Like look for everybody with the same name as you, and be like, hey, let's all go to like Tuvalu or something. Like,
this location and fight to for the right to be the last remaining Martin or remaining Joao.
The Martin of all Martins or whatever, right?
There can be only one.
Man, like with me though, like it'd have to be like either in Brazil or Portugal. Because dude,
there's a lot of Joaos here.
Yeah, dude, a lot of Joaos. It's like it's John essentially. It's John in Portuguese. It's like the most uninteresting name out there.
Like, dude, I've met like at least 5 Joaos in 12 months. One is a plumber, one's an electrician, one's the cashier, one's the police guy, one's the guy downstairs.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's John. How many Johns do we know, right? That's one of the most common names out there. Or Juan, right? Juan is John. Yeah.
In Mexico.
Spanish, right? So it's a fairly common name. And if Joao is as common as like John in the Anglophone world or Juan in the Spanish speaking world, then like it's a pretty it should be a pretty common name in Portuguese speaking countries, namely Portugal, Brazil, and parts of like China.
And dude, I see a lot of brands named Joao. So Sao Joao's,
Yeah. St. John's Pizza?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. So that'd be pretty cool, man. Like we all go to St. John's Pizza in like Brasilia and have a pizza eating competition, right?
And like there's
for the ultimate
a brand called Tio Joao, so that's Uncle Joao.
Yeah, man. I still think people should be calling you Martino. Martino.
But yes, the Jaws fight is one of the highlights of the quarantine, and I'm pretty sure most of them have been vaccinated because it's in the. Come on, it's in the press.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, come on.
Right.
The population is too small to have no vaccinations at all, right?
You could what's it? There are some states in the US that are thinking about like vaccination tourism as a thing. Right?
It's gonna be cool because like some of our people in the foreign East Coast, like Chicago, New York, they also people who are younger than us in the same age already have their shots.
My little brother, my little brother in Boston had his first shot
my kuya as well, like
a couple of weeks ago,
a month ago.
Yeah,
so good for America. Of course, they had that. At least they're trying to curb that works out, and there's no COVID new variant that will F it up.
Yeah.
Just remember, these vaccines were made before the variants evolved. So I hope, against all hope, we don't have to make a new set of vaccines because of this new variant.
Yeah.
Right?
Or at the very least that the current vaccines have the level of efficacy that they have with the, mainstream variant, shall we call it, right? I don't know, man. It's quite interesting, though. Like, vaccination. I've been there are quite a number of websites out there that have a lot of statistics about vaccination, countries that have been vaccinated, what percentage of the population have been vaccinated and whatnot. And it's quite interesting to see some of that data, where the Philippines falls on that list, that sort of thing. It's quite telling, but we have some big surprises, and I don't know.
Hey, so when are we releasing?
I don't know, probably like next week or this week. I don't know, dude. I might think, I don't know, soon.
We don't have to make it video. Say this, the next episode of Third World Gaming, very long episode. And one of the reasons why group of friends is basically to catch up with us, right? Catch up with each other here.
Because I was in Cebu and everybody was in Manila and I wanted to
Yes.
have friends.
Yep. And we're stuck at home, obviously.
Yeah, season 2
Uh,
is the Stuck at Home edition. The Stuck at
So
Home
we had a
season.
lot of content, and it's so funny because we're reaching episode 100. And I can't wait to have Miko in, Paolo in, Ren
Oh,
in.
dude, Paulo!
If it, I'm glad Miko's gonna be there. So if his mic still sucks, Miko can do tech shit.
Man, you know what I realized, dude, when I was listening back to like the earlier episodes of Bodega Nights of this, for like the lockdown edition, I realized like how much better our audio was when we had like individual vocal tracks or when we had individual like tracks instead
Yeah,
of relying on
but
Zoom.
it's easier for the guests plus you because you only have to
Yeah.
edit one. That's
Yeah,
why
but
I
when I
use
was
Zoom for
listening,
my recording.
but when I was listening to like the episodes for the beginning of the lockdown, it's like, dang, we sounded
Yeah.
good. Rather, we
Yep.
sounded better than we do now.
Yes. But latency compared to Zoom and Google Meet kind of makes it
Yeah,
better for Zoom. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
No, I mean, like Zoom is an amazing platform for like recording and whatnot, or not for recording, for video conferencing.
So yes, I'm sorry. Google Meet is awesome and all, and different audio tracks, of course, will make the quality better. I know that. But as an editor myself, I prefer Zoom because I only have one audio track to fix. Don't you?
Right. That's
And we
like
have work.
particularly when we have like a big group. There's no way. Like if we did that, if we did the Servant of Two Masters episode in the way that like we
No
used to
way.
do it, there was absolutely no way we were gonna do that.
Our guests won't even join in if that's the case.
The other option that I was thinking of, at
Discord.
least for no man, at least for the new show,
Okay.
um, if we want to make the new show sound good, like just leave the guest. The guest's audio is going to be Zoom audio, but then we have our own vocal tracks or we have our own tracks because
Oh,
with Zoom you can save individual audio tracks. Yeah, so like we disregard our individual audio tracks and we keep the one of the guest. And like before the guest comes in, we do the clap and all of that, not the clap, but the thing where I put the microphone up to the speaker and whatnot. And then like our audio sounds really good. And because it's isolated, we can make the guest's audio sound good as well, or about as good as Zoom is
okay.
going to allow them to sound. Just a thought.
I'll try to do that. I'll try, but I can't guarantee. Maybe you can do it.
All
I'll
right,
stay on Zoom.
but that was just that. That was just a thought.
But that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I like that.
Because like yeah, I miss the sound of like non-zoomified bodega nights where we don't have
Yeah,
like those cracks and
non
whatever.
non-compressed.
Yeah, like I would like to do the compression myself. Thank you very much. Um, that sort of thing. So I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I'll think of that. We have 7 days.
Yeah.
Or I'm too lazy, man, because we have work anyway. I don't know. I'll see. I
Yeah.
can't guarantee. Hey, have you been watching Winter Soldier?
Falcon and the Winter
Falcon and
Soldier. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, I
it's all
think
right.
our I think our guest next week can talk about that. I haven't watched it yet. I'm
Wait,
still
our
stuck
guest
in
on Bodega Nights. We
WandaVision.
have a guest on Bodega Nights, or like
Oh no
a guest
no,
for the new show.
Cast Garden, the
Okay,
new
all right,
show.
cool.
He watched it. I don't know if the other guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, but then with the Cast Garden, like, uh, what was it? I have like a notebook where I wrote down some of the standard questions that we should probably be asking people. Hold up, I'm going to feel like a Muppet, and for anybody, this is going to be like
A
audio,
Muppet?
but like I'm going to like duck under my table. So for the people
Okay.
that are now, this is great audio content, isn't it? Anyway,
Yes. So Joao is now crouching to his seat, reaching out something underneath. What is that item
okay.
underneath? It seems heavy. It seems heavy.
And I mean, like,
The first
what's the
question on the list would be, what is your name? Second question, what is your quest? Third question, what is the capital of Assyria?
Blue. No. Yellow.
No. Oh. No, obviously our first question is what's your first two digits of your student number?
Yeah, first two digits of the student number. And every time they mention their whole student number, I have to bleep it out because that's like a violation of their privacy. But like the first two digits of the student number, things like their favorite classroom, have they been in the mascot, their favorite iteration of the cafeteria, or favorite place to eat, what orgs they joined, what were some of their favorite teachers, or who were some of their favorite teachers or favorite classes that they had.
And who's your favorite teacher? Why is it Jonathan Guillermo? We're sorry, John. You can get back at us if you can finally join our episodes.
He doesn't listen to this show.
That's why. It's more funny this way. Funny.
Although he was on an episode of Bodega Nights many years ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he is my former host on Jobber Talk with Morton. What? So,
what were some of the? What was? You know what? This might be a Bodega Nights episode. What are some of the questions that we can ask? Not here. What are some of the questions that we can ask people for the new show?
Bodega Nights. Oh, the new show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like standard questions.
We already said the standard questions, but I hate to ask this question because it'll be asked to us. Okay, Joao?
All right.
Who's your college crush? I don't want to say that. I don't want to ask that, man.
But then let's not ask it.
Yeah, let's not ask it. How about, do you have any interesting stories or experiences in school that may be bordering on the supernatural? You think we could ask that?
Maybe not bordering on the paranormal. The last time we had somebody come on that talked about that, I couldn't sleep that night.
Okay, then let's not.
I'm looking at you, Laura. I'm looking at you, Lolo.
Yes, Lolo. Okay. Oh, wait. What was your first impression before going into the damn school? Do you think we should ask that? Don't you think we should ask that?
Yeah, dude.
Have you not snuck out of campus? And how hard or easy was it?
Why would...
Oh, wait, no, don't say that question. No, yeah, we're not asking.
Yeah, like, I don't think I've ever... I mean, like, sneaking on campus because you don't have your ID for the day is, like, whatever. That's, like, the easiest thing in the world to do. But, like, that makes it sound a little bit more... Yeah. That makes it sound a little bit more insidious than,
Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be guest specific. I think we have the...
At that point, no? Yeah, after...
Yeah, it has to be. After your first student stuff. Do you still remember the school anthem? Ding, 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 ding. No, that's the same stuff.
Yeah. That's the little intro sting. Little intro sting for the new show is just pretty much like a little innocuous part of like the melody of the school hymn. Like,
hell yeah.
Like a part of the melody that nobody really like cares to, It is actually what I did when composing the theme for it was look for the least iconic like melodic line.
Holy smoke.
And that was the one that I was able to find.
Joao.
Yes.
I've been mentioning this. Do you have a list of names outside of Father?
Do I have a list of names? Not yet. I haven't been thinking about it actually.
Get back to me. Or get back to me. This is going to be interesting. I'm a fan of a certain podcast called Rob Has a Podcast. They have a series now called Talking with T-Bird. Rob Has a Podcast spawns off from the host, Rob Sesternino, who is a former contestant of Survivor. And this T-Bird person is like another former contestant who's like trying to bother certain names on Rob's list to get them on as guests. And so far, so good. She has only 3 names left. And I think if I said this like months ago, you'll get my certain peg on getting the guests.
All right.
It's basically
so it's
the guesting thing.
Rob Has a Podcast.
It was inspired by Talking with T-Bird thing. So sorry, Joao.
Who ended up? Who from like the man?
from
we
our
should really
guests.
talk about Survivor one of these days, because that's
I
like,
have been talking about Survivor. Like
yeah, I
we
remember
had
you had like
Bodega
a
Nights
Survivor.
episode.
I remember you had a
Yeah.
Survivor episode, but like that's something that we should totally talk about, like Survivor, because it's something that I find so fascinating. But like the last one that I watched, Ethan won.
Holy smokes! Yeah, that's
Ethan,
the Ethan Zahn,
Ethan,
the guy
yeah,
who
Ethan Zahn,
survived
yeah,
cancer. He
yeah,
also played last year in Winners at War. He didn't go that far, but he was there with former winners. And dude, he looks so different now. He looks like he's aged. That it's not just like he aged 20 years. He aged like way bigger than the 20 years we imagined. Like he
yeah.
looks so old. But I
So like
think it's because he's a recovering.
I get the feeling, right? I get the feeling that the next season of Survivor is something that I should start watching. Um,
For me, you should go watch Winners at War if you wanna.
yeah, but like
Or
not necessarily like Ethan Zahn, right? But like I get the feeling that I should watch the next season of Survivor because it is the beginning of a new era of Survivor,
yes, yes.
right?
There's a lot of things that happen, not just because of the things that happened in the game, like someone was doing inappropriate touch. There was a contestant that was heavily criticized.
Mm.
There's also an incident. Well, people also spoke up during last year BLM movie because they've noticed only a couple of seasons were like fully mixed, but most are just like white people and like one or two
Yeah.
seasons. So now they're trying to make it a diverse cast. So I think Joao, you're going in just in time because they'll be trying to make it at least 40 to 50%. It'll be not just white Americans be part of the cast. And not only that, but also people backstand the camera.
Yeah. And also like
So
the
we're
impression that
jumping in the new era.
and the impression that I'm getting is like Winners at War was like the capstone of the first 20
Or
years.
yeah,
Right?
first 20 years.
The first 20 years of Survivor was capped off by the Survivor season where they had previous winners go up against each other. And so that makes a good like narrative arc for like, you know, the first big era of Survivor.
Yeah, is
And
over.
you know, if I were what's his name,
Jeff Probst.
Jeff Probst. Yeah, if I were Jeff Probst, I would take this as the beginning of another, you know, huge like arc where, you know, we don't rely on going back to previous players to come in and like fill out our seasons. Like there's only so many times you can get Boston Rob on a season and all of that.
Yeah,
Um,
I really hope so. But obviously, after season 41, they might have another.
and yeah.
But yeah, I hope
Oh, and
you
it's
can
all going to be like in
understand that.
Fiji, right? It's all going to be in Fiji
Yeah,
from now on.
again, it's
Like,
like their go-to place.
like no, I read somewhere that that
The government of
the
Fiji.
yeah, the plan is for them to set up like more permanently in Fiji, so the focus becomes less on the location and more on the game.
Yeah, which is funny because like one of the earlier times they were filming in Fiji, Fiji was under, I don't know, it was either martial law or there was a lot of political turmoil. And fast forward now, holy smokes, we're back in Fiji for reals now.
Yeah,
So,
right. So I don't know. This seems like it seems like a good jumping on point for me. Like, hey, you know,
I know.
the new era of Survivor, because like they're now in Fiji. They just capped off like the first 20 years
40
of
seasons.
the first
Holy
40
smokes, yeah.
seasons with the winners at war and all of, you know.
Yeah, I really recommend you watching just for the sake of either nostalgia and saying, oh, so this guy won. Oh, that guy.
All right, but like what are the other what are the other
Seasons I
good
can recommend.
seasons? Yeah, what are the other good
Okay,
seasons? Because I hear some of them
first,
are terrible and some of them are awesome.
yeah, standalone seasons. Personally, for me, I want you to watch Survivor Samoa because of one guy.
But let
You
me just read
gotta watch Russell Hicks. He's the best player of all time.
watch his
So
Bodega Nights
Survivor
becomes the
Samoa.
Survivor podcast.
Yeah. I was about to pitch that like I do a live Zoom call in Channel 14. Martin, simulate Survivor using brandsteel.net. Like all 40 seasons. Or do we make it a Patreon only thing? I don't know, just kidding. So yeah, for me, Samoa. Obviously, winners at war. Spoiler: Russell never wins Survivor because he does the same gameplay all over. Heroes versus villains. You have to watch Heroes versus Villains after Survivor. But I think that Samoa should be the third season you gotta watch. Fourth season would be winners, fans versus favorite. Do you like wrestling? You gotta watch Survivor Pearl Islands because some guy is a wrestling personality or becomes a wrestling personality bigger than he was before during that time, called Johnny Fairplay. That's Survivor Season 7. Pearl Islands features Johnny Fairplay, Sandra, the only two-time winner, female winner, and Rupert, who never won but was an early crowd favorite. Unfortunately, you may have to want to watch Survivor All-Star. I don't want you to watch that. It sucks. So don't watch that. In between that and Samoa, you gotta watch, I guess, Survivor Fans versus Favorites, Survivor Micronesia. That's my favorite because it's based in Brazil. Survivor Tokency. You gotta watch Survivor Tokency. Survivor the Amazon. Holy shit. Men versus women. Battle of the gender. Battle of the sexes.
That was a pretty early one, right? The Amazon.
Yeah, 6. That's season 6. That's before Pearl Island. But you gotta watch Pearl Islands because of Rupert, like early Rupert and Johnny Fairplay. Because Johnny Fairplay is a dick. He's really a heel because he plays up to a wrestling heel because he's a wrestling fan and he's from the wrestling business. So it's kind of funny. Right. So yeah, number 1, you gotta see Pearl Islands, and then maybe Amazon and Samoa versus Villains at War. Wait, no, before Winners at War, you gotta watch Survivor Cagayan to know Tony, the bald guy. Because for me, you have to try to compare and contrast Tony from Russell. One won, one didn't. They had similar styles of gameplay, but the way they treat their fellow contestants is so polar opposite. That's it for me, but I think for Survivor seasons, you got to talk to Joel more because I'm strictly biased because I like Russell and eventually grew out of
Is this a YouTube channel, dude? Where like
no,
I just watch old seasons of Survivor and you give your like you give your like commentary on like, oh, look at this noob watching like Survivor Pearl Islands for the first time.
Hey, I can do Survivor. Oh crap, I'm in the wrong laptop. There's a Google group actually that I got to get old episodes of Survivor from starting to Survivor the Amazon.
Right.
I can give you that link. Like it's a Google group, so you have to ask permission. Survivors in the folder, and when you do, you can just download them, and then you can watch them like in a binge or like watch them once a week.
Where does is it streaming anywhere? It might be streaming somewhere.
It's on Netflix, but it's not on Netflix Brazil. It's also on Amazon Prime, but not in Brazil. There's also on CBS All Access or in Paramount Plus. Is that available in the Philippines?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out.
But if you want to stream it without going to pay, just give me a holla back. Holla holla. But hey,
okay, it's on Joao, Amazon Prime.
Wait, on your region? You lucky bastard. How many seasons? Which season?
Oh wait, no. It says Amazon because I was looking for like where do you stream Survivor in the Philippines? And it keeps on pointing me towards Survivor Philippines, season 25.
Oh, that's a nice episode, but I picked Cagayan, Survivor Cagayan over that. And then Caramoan. Caramoan's kind of cool because the geek finally, the super fan. But you have a lot to catch up to. Well, I basically want you to check out Rob Has a Podcast. They have episodes on the countdown, the top 40. From worst to best. Right now, they're on rank 25. They just finished Survivor Samoa. The next one, they'll talk about All-Stars. It's ranked 24 out of 40. 40. So you want to base off your rankings there. But, if you really want to see one of the best Survivors, you got to go watch Pearl Islands. Just for the character. And Cagayan. Just for... And some... they're top-heavy, but it's kind of nice. In Cagayan, you have former... NBA player and late, who just passed away last year, Clifford Robinson. Oh, dude, if you like John Morrison, he's in David versus Goliath. We might go on ours on end in this episode, so I think we have to do it off recording. By the way, Joao, it's been 14 months. I'm sorry, I have yet to get a goat head.